Hello YouTube. This is my first video, not just on YouTube, but actually my very first video that I'm recording. And considering that I've got close to zero video editing skills, I'm gonna try and do this in the one take as best as possible. So what are we doing here? My name is CJ, and I am a business, a car host on the Turo platform. I rent cars out through my business name under Newcastle Car Rentals, and just thought I'll take you along with me for a quick video outlining what my day normally looks like when I'm working on the cars. So like I said, I rent out my cars through the Turo platform. I guess I joined Turo when the Uber car share wave ended and Uber car share was sold and stopped its business operations in Australia. I guess I got onto Turo in about I think it was 2023, I want to say. Started off with one vehicle, and I have since gone and increased my fleet size to a total of 3 cars at this stage, and I'm looking at purchasing yet another vehicle in the coming months. So just a little bit about the business. I operate out of Birmingham Gardens, and I also do airport deliveries at Newcastle Airport because well, why not? A lot of my customers are coming in from Newcastle Airport, and I make it a point to deliver the vehicles over to them, just to make sure that the customers get what they want, and of course I get compensated in terms of finances from it. So right now, just as an example, we have a bright and sunny day finally in Newcastle after about rain for about what felt like about 7 years, and we are doing an airport delivery to Newcastle Airport for a trip that is going to start tomorrow morning. Let me tell you a little bit about my fleet of vehicles. I started off with a 2023 MG3. It's an automatic 1.5 liter engine, very good on the fuel. Customers absolutely love it. In fact, once I had that vehicle on the fleet for a little bit, I realized the potential of this business and the potential of growing it further. So I went and further got myself a 2024 MG ZS a couple of months later, and that's the vehicle we're in right now, the MG ZS 2024. It also is a 1.5 liter engine, very comfortable, very spacious, sort of helps me open up my offerings to not just small hatchbacks, but also to include just a little bit of a bigger vehicle in terms of a small SUV. It's not a four-wheel drive by any means, but it's got the space in it. It's a little more comfortable, but almost equally as economical on fuel usage. Once I had these two vehicles on the platform, I started seriously looking at this business as something that could potentially and eventually become my bread and butter in the long run. And I then bought my third vehicle, which was a 2024 MG3 Auto. Again, I was initially under the impression that the MG ZS is going to get rented out more, considering it's a bigger vehicle and the price point is quite similar to the MG3 as well. In saying that, based on the data that I've looked at of historical bookings and the booking trends here in Newcastle, I can see that the MG3, which is a small hatchback, is getting rented a lot more, well, both the MG3s are getting rented a lot more than the MG ZS. In saying that, there's nuance to this data. Whilst the MG3s go out a lot more frequently, the average trip duration for the MG3s is slightly shorter than that of the MGZS. So if I was to look at the monthly revenue take home dollar figure, we're sort of averaging on a similar amount between the two types of vehicles. So overall, I think I'm pretty happy with where I am on the Turo journey at this stage. And I guess this video is the start to take you along what some of my hiccups were in the business, things I like, things I dislike, and just to share what my experience is as a business owner in the car rental industry. Of course, like everybody knows, the car rental industry is fairly saturated and almost monopolized by the big car companies out there. But doing my own research just a little bit, there was a very evident and a common theme in the clientele of these car rental businesses, is that most of these customers, or many of these customers, were unhappy with the kind of service that was being provided. So I saw that as an opportunity to sort of go in and come back to ground zero and be able to provide a true and a good customer service experience to each of my clients. Now, in a month's duration, I potentially get 20, 30, even 40 bookings sometimes, and I make it a point to make sure that all of my clients and all of my customers feel special about this booking. This could range anywhere from providing them a personalized customer experience or customer satisfaction, all the way to not making them feel like just another booking or just another number. Now, in this whole piece, what's important to understand is that no matter how good my customer service is, and no matter what my customer service offering is, at the end of the day, I have to focus on the product that I'm offering. So in my case, the product or the service that I'm offering right now is car rental, car being the key word over here. And I need to make sure that no matter how long, small, expensive, cheap the booking is that has come through, I need to ensure that the car goes out absolutely spotless. At the start of every booking, I make sure that I go and clean the car. In fact, I wash the car every single time before I check in and before I send the car out, whether it's through the Newcastle airport deliveries or whether it's been picked up at its home base in Birmingham Gardens. So that being one of the most important points, which is being able to provide a car that is clean and mechanically sound. Now, of course, there's a difference between having a car which is simply mechanically sound versus having a car that is in good working order. So my strategy to mitigate the risk that I'm outlining here was to purchase brand new vehicles. Not only do they give me a little bit more of a peace of mind in terms of having 7 to 10 year warranties on these MGs, but also it sort of gives the customers a feeling of confidence when they rent these vehicles out. One, to see that these are brand new vehicles, and two, it's a good experience for them, right? When you're doing these service offerings, specifically service offerings, you just need to make sure that you're putting yourself in the shoes of the customer. They are giving you their hard-earned money, and it's a respect thing. It goes both ways. And if you give them a good experience, whether it's through customer service or whether it's through the actual offering that you're providing them, they will come back. They will let their mates know. They will let their friends know, and overall, it's a much better sort of transitionary journey for everybody involved. So that's the good sides. Of course, in terms of the actual money side of things, like I said, I started off with the one vehicle, and I have brought the business up to a point where this business is essentially not only paying for itself, but also paying for my rentals. Now, we are living in a cost of living crisis, and the accommodation prices have skyrocketed. So this is a big chunk of my expense that has now been taken care of by this car rental business. Going forward, potentially in the coming years, I would like to see this business grow further, so I can substitute my full-time jobs with the income that I'm getting through this business. So whilst I understand 3 cars, even 5 cars potentially won't be able to do that for me, considering how expensive everything is right now. But the idea is to slowly keep growing, organically keep growing, and most importantly, to grow in a sustainable manner, so as to not increase my overheads too much, that the risk is too high, that things happen, accidents happen in this business. You don't want to be in a situation wherein you lose one car, or your car gets into a minor accident and has to be taken off the road for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, and you just don't want to go into the negatives when it comes to money, just with that one car. So what my normal rule is that I don't purchase a new car until my existing vehicles haven't been fully booked out for a couple of months, and as I can see, or as I see that my current vehicles have been booked out for a couple of months, I start looking for deals to acquire another vehicle. Talking about acquiring vehicles, this is actually a very important and a very talked about topic in the Turo circles and the Turo platforms, as to when you purchase a new vehicle, or a new vehicle for the business, are you looking at brand new vehicles? Are you looking at second-hand vehicles? Are you looking at lease options? So of course there's a lot of different options out there. It's really going to come down to the kind of cars you're going for, and the kind of service offering you have, right? And of course the kind of money backing you have in your wallet. For me, I have, at least for the time being, stuck to small vehicles and vehicles that provide more of a economy experience, rather than going out with really expensive European vehicles. So my idea is to try and capture the economy section, or economy segment of Newcastle. And that's why I've stuck with the MGs for the time being. They provide me with a decent amount of revenue coming in every month, but they also reduce my overheads in terms of maintenance costs, cleaning costs. That is a big expense that you're going to be looking at as a Turo business owner, or a Turo host. You're going to have to clean a car, and cleaning a car costs money. And yes, it's only $7 or $10 per clean, but when you're doing 30, 40 plus bookings in a month, it all really adds up. So that's something to consider as well. I know very successful business owners on Turo that have second-hand vehicles on there, which is not a bad strategy at all. That sort of also allows you to open yourself up to more higher end vehicles than the small economy hatchbacks. I'm not entirely certain on how vehicle leases will work, because of course the lease contract will have its own terms and conditions and regulations as to what you can use the vehicle for. So I'll recommend you look that up by yourself if you're going down this pathway. And then I think another thing to consider when you're looking to expand your fleet on Turo, or any car sharing or car rental platform really, is parking. So I personally am not in a situation financially yet that I can afford my own car yard at this stage. That is somewhere I want to be in the future, but at this stage I don't have that. So if you live in a smaller city in Australia, of course the parking generally in the suburban areas is free, of course. Some areas have timed parking, some areas have paid parking. So you're just gonna have to make sure that acquiring the car is just one part of the puzzle. keeping the car in terms of parking it overnight for when it's not gone out on the booking, or maintaining the car, keeping the insurances up to date, the rego, the CTP. These are all costs that you're going to have to factor in, and we'll do another video in a couple of days where I can talk to you more about the exact dollar values of how much each car is costing me to just keep at home, and what my break-even point is on a monthly basis, to make sure that this is a viable business opportunity that I'm in. And numbers don't lie. At the end of the day, every business operation should be, and I'm hoping is, based or the decision making of these business operations is based on data, and we need to make data backed decisions. Otherwise, we will find ourselves in a lot of trouble when we suddenly realize a few years down the road that I'm spending more than I'm earning, and that is a big problem, especially when your business has become big enough for having multiple cars, staff members, overhead costs like location rentals, parking rentals. It's all going to add up. So just keep that in mind when you're looking for the car rental business model side of things. So now, this is all depressing. I know it's all numbers and dollar values. In saying that, there's always an upside to it, right? Now, for me personally, I'm someone who genuinely enjoys cars. I love spending time with cars. I drive a Nissan Patrol Y62 as my daily driver. Again, not a cheap car to run at all, but this is just, I am just in love with the vehicle itself. So spending time with cars, doing minor repairs, cleaning the cars, it's not so much a task for me. I enjoy doing it, and it's just a lot of fun. Now, the other thing is the other silver lining is meeting people, right? Now, this is a people business. This business is solely stands on your clients and your customers, and what kind of people experience you're able to provide to them, and what kind of customer service you're able to provide to them. Now, of course, there's a few different ways in Turo that you can interact with people. You are welcome to meet your clients, meet your customers in person to hand over your keys. I personally don't do that. I have a remote lock and unlock solution in place for all three of my vehicles that also looks after automatically sending out SMS text messages to my customers with unlock links and lock links for the vehicles, and it sort of automates the whole process up. In saying that, I also leverage the technology that's available to me through this remote unlocking system and through Turo's scheduled messaging service, where I tried to gain a lot of trust through these messages. I come from a marketing and comms background, and I was sort of able to map this whole journey out from the time of the booking coming through all the way to when the customer drops the car back off, either at the Newcastle airport or at the home location. So this is one thing to actually consider really well as well, that you need to figure out what the journey is for your customer, or what journey you want your customer to go on when it comes to booking, right? So I'll give you two examples. One example is customer makes a booking and there's absolute radio silence after that until the trip commences. And obviously Turo is not very well known as a platform, as a car rental platform in Australia, and especially in the smaller cities of Australia. So customers booking in want some kind of reassurance that you are legit as a business, or you are legit as a host, and you will be able to provide the service that they've paid you for. Of course, operating under a business name adds that level of trust with these customers, in saying that there's nothing to say that you, as a single car host who's not operating under a business name, cannot also quite easily gain this trust from customers, right? At the end of the day, it's all about communication. Talk to them like you would like to be spoken with when you rent a vehicle from one of the bigger car rental companies, or from Turo for that matter. So put yourself in their shoes, go 1 or 2 notches above what your expectations are, and provide that service to your customers. I think that in a nutshell will be able to give you that competitive edge over a lot of your competitors in terms of service delivery, and all of these things coming together: your customer service, your cars being clean, well maintained, your messaging and your communication with these customers. Putting them all together is what builds for a good customer experience, right? Now, yes, at the end of the day, customers just want the car, but if you're able to turn this car experience, a simple car experience, to something that they're not going to forget, or something that they will remember you for, that's how you tap into what is called word of mouth marketing. Now, word of mouth marketing is free of cost. It works really well, and it's very, very effective in terms of a marketing tool, because the best way to grow your business is by getting people that have already booked with you, or you've already serviced one or two more times, to actually talk on your behalf. And potential future clients, future customers will really, really appreciate and might even pay extra for vehicles that have this kind of sort of notion and this kind of conversation happening about how good the experience was. Which brings me to the next part, which is the pricing strategies, right? Now, pricing strategy is something which potentially requires a longer and a more dedicated video. In saying that, in a nutshell, in short, pricing is very important. You cannot have a small MP3 rented out at $150 a day. Nobody's going to pay for that. So look around your area on Turo, go log in as a customer, see what your competitors are doing, price yourself according to them. Yes, there are different strategies on pricing as well. Of course, you can try and undercut the market by, even if you're losing some money, but you get the number of bookings coming through. Rack up your customer reviews on Turo, on other platforms, and use that as an opportunity to sort of grow the number of trips you've done under your account. And what this will basically do is allow you to showcase yourself as an experienced Turo host. That's one way to do it. The other way to do it, of course, is you stay at market value, or stay above market value, or above what the market trends are saying, and you will get lesser number of bookings, but the amount of revenue you bring in will potentially be per trip will potentially be higher. In saying that, your number of trips will potentially be lower as well. So you're just gonna have to figure out how you're gonna place yourself in this market, and of course, a pricing strategy that works for me here in Newcastle is not going to work. It's potentially not going to work in other areas. It's very specific to not just the region you're in, but to even down to the suburb that you are offering your services out of. We're almost at the Newcastle airport now, so we're gonna I'm probably gonna cut this video short, but in saying that, I think it was a good chat, and I'm already at 23 minutes, so I'm going to try and keep this video as short as possible, but I will keep uploading more. If you do have any further questions, just comment down below, and I will try and answer them in the next video. Until then, make sure you subscribe to YouTube, to this channel, to keep all the videos showing up on your For You page on YouTube. And until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.